The illusion of superficial traits. Traditional concepts often associate masculine attractiveness with easily quantifiable factors such as outstanding physical appearance, a solid financial foundation, or exceptional communication skills. However, reality proves that many individuals possessing all these advantages still continuously stumble when it comes to building deep connections. Conversely, there are those who do not stand out physically or materially yet possess the ability to attract women in a natural and sustainable way. This paradox points to a significant flaw in the conventional approach to the art of communication and relationship building. The core element that creates genuine attraction does not lie in superficial values observable to the naked eye. It is hidden within an invisible but decisive concept, one's inner state. The power of the inner state. Before a complete sentence is even uttered, the other person's brain has already processed dozens of different nonverbal signals. These include posture, eye contact, the pauses between words, breathing rhythm, and physical relaxation. All these minor details merge into an invisible signaling system that accurately reflects a person's inner self. The core issue is that no one can successfully fake a grounded inner state if, deep down, they are overwhelmed by self-doubt. Actions are merely the outer shell, whereas the mental state is the true source governing all interactions. Women usually do not analyze others purely through a logical filter, rather, they read their counterparts using an instinctual sensory system. Throughout evolutionary history, the ability to assess a man's psychological state has become an essential survival mechanism for women. They subconsciously seek signs of stability, self-control, and reliability. An anxious inner core immediately projects pressure and tension into the conversational space. A lack of confidence makes the atmosphere awkward, while the desire for validation becomes a psychological burden for the receiver. A calm, unhurried, and grounded demeanor, on the other hand, automatically dismantles defensive barriers. The danger of neediness and seeking validation. The need for validation is considered the most dangerous agent silently destroying an individual's attractiveness. When approaching someone with the goal of being liked, you inadvertently place yourself in a subordinate position, waiting for affection to be bestowed. All the power in the interaction is instantly handed over to the other person. Behaviors such as smiling too much, hastily agreeing, or constantly giving compliments are no longer mere politeness. They become subtle signals betraying a needy inner state and a desperate plea for attention. The feeling of being obviously pursued creates neither curiosity nor a sense of challenge. Things that are obtained too easily tend to be devalued in general human psychology. The paradox of attraction lies here. The harder you try to impress, the more faded your personal image becomes. The more you try to hold on to a connection, the further the distance between the two is pushed apart. The paradigm shift, from scarcity to abundance. True attraction only arises when people stop seeking validation and focus on their inherent value. A man with solid inner strength does not enter a conversation to prove anything. He approaches with a calm mindset to determine whether the other person is truly compatible with the standards he has set. It is this shift in mindset from hoping to be chosen to being the chooser that completely flips the script in any interaction. The presence of someone who carries no expectations or pressure creates a stark contrast to a crowd desperate to show off. This difference is the very first catalyst that sparks attention. However, to transform initial attention into long-term emotional investment, unpredictability is an indispensable factor. People rarely appreciate things that are always available and given away for free. Maintaining empty space in communication, not immediately revealing all thoughts or emotions, creates a psychological tension. This tension is not negative, rather, it acts as a magnetic pull, urging the other person to ask questions and actively seek answers. For an insecure person, mistimed silence is a fear that must be filled with meaningless chatter. But for someone who has mastered themselves, silence is a comfortable pause, demonstrating a confidence that needs no masking. Personal boundaries and emotional testing. The fear of losing a relationship is the root cause leading to the collapse of personal boundaries. This fear stems from a scarcity mindset, where a person believes they have no better options out there. They begin to compromise, step back, and accept behaviors that contradict their core values just to hold on to someone. Meanwhile, an abundance mindset allows an individual to maintain clear standards and not hesitate to walk away if they feel disrespected. The willingness to walk away from an incompatible relationship is the source of true strength and freedom. Only when one is no longer controlled by the fear of loss can they reveal their true self most authentically and fully. Women possess a highly acute intuition to test a man's groundedness through emotional tests. These tests can manifest as sudden silence, a cold attitude, or provocatively challenging words. Their core purpose is not to be difficult, but to verify whether the other person has enough psychological stability to act as an anchor when facing pressure. Failing the test, reacting with panic, attempting to over-explain, or hastily apologizing only confirms weakness and a lack of self-control. Passing the test, maintaining composure, not retaliating with negative emotions, and not getting sucked into the other's psychological vortex is the clearest testament to a strong inner core. Conclusion: the freedom of authenticity. Ultimately, attraction is not a collection of tricks or complex psychological manipulation techniques. It is the inevitable result of building a complete, independent version of oneself that does not rely on external judgments. When an individual reaches a state of self-fulfillment, no longer needing to chase or cling to anyone, they naturally become a magnet for attention. In the editor's opinion, emotional freedom is the most precious asset every individual needs to equip themselves with. In a society where people are increasingly obsessed with image building and chasing external standards, returning to cultivate a solid inner self is a liberating path. Communication skills or approach tactics might help create fleeting impressions, but they cannot sustain a truly meaningful connection. We cannot manipulate others' emotions with empty words if the deep-seated energy inside remains a thirst for validation. Accepting oneself, setting clear boundaries, and nurturing an abundance mindset not only bring benefits in the romantic realm but also open the door to a more autonomous and happier life. When we stop trying to be someone else just to be loved, we begin to attract those who truly appreciate our authentic value.